My son asked Santa to bring his daddy home for Christmas. I was Santa. I took the mall Santa job because it paid $15 an hour, and nobody asks questions when you're willing to wear a hot velvet suit in a crowded shopping center 3 weeks before Christmas. After my breakdown last year and the divorce that followed, I lost pretty much everything, including my apartment, my savings, and custody of my 5-year-old son, Caleb. The court said I was emotionally unstable because I checked myself into a facility after I couldn't stop crying for 2 weeks straight, and apparently getting help for your mental health means you're unfit to raise your own kid. My ex, Julie, got full custody and a restraining order that said I couldn't come within 500 feet of Caleb until I demonstrated sustained stability, whatever that means. I picked this particular mall specifically because it was over an hour from where Julie lived, and I figured the Santa costume would give me complete anonymity, even if someone from my old life happened to walk by. The first 2 weeks went fine with me bouncing toddlers on my knee and asking about their wish lists, while their parents snapped photos on their phones. I got pretty good at the jolly laugh and the ho-ho-ho, and I almost started to enjoy it because kids are genuinely hilarious, and they'll tell Santa things they won't tell anyone else on the planet. Then on December 22nd, right in the middle of my afternoon shift, I looked up at the line of families waiting, and my blood turned to ice. Julie was standing about 15 families back holding Caleb's hand, and next to her was a guy I recognized from her social media posts as her new boyfriend, Kevin. I tried to signal my elf assistant that I needed an emergency bathroom break, but she just smiled and pushed the next kid toward my lap without even glancing at me. 4 families back, and I could see my son's face clearly now, and he looked so much bigger than the last time I held him in my arms. 2 families back, and Kevin put his hand on Caleb's shoulder in this possessive way that made me want to rip the beard off my face and scream the truth. But I just kept saying ho 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 while my entire world narrowed down to those last few feet between us. Then the elf tapped my shoulder and chirped, "Next," and Julie nudged Caleb forward toward Santa's big red chair. Caleb walked up to me slowly, and I lifted him onto my lap with hands that felt like they belonged to a stranger. He looked right into my eyes through the fake glasses and the ridiculous curly white wig, and he didn't see his father at all. "Hi, Santa," he said in this shy little voice that I used to hear every single morning when he climbed into my bed for Saturday cartoons, and I had to choke back a sob before I could respond with, "Hello there, young man. What would you like for Christmas this year?" Caleb glanced back at his mom and Kevin standing there watching, then leaned in close to my ear like he was about to tell me the most important secret in the entire universe. "I want my daddy to come home," he whispered, and I felt something inside my chest crack wide open. I couldn't speak for what felt like an hour, so I just nodded slowly, and then Caleb pulled back and looked at me with these big, serious eyes that were exactly like mine. "Mommy says daddy is sick in the head, and that's why he had to go away, but I don't think he's actually sick because sick people cough and sneeze, and he never did that. Kevin says my daddy didn't love me enough to stay, but I think Kevin is a liar because my daddy used to make me pancakes shaped like dinosaurs every single Saturday, and you don't do that for someone you don't love." I opened my mouth to say something, but nothing came out, and Caleb tilted his head and squinted at me through those plastic Santa glasses like he was trying to solve the hardest puzzle he'd ever seen, and then his whole face changed like a light switching on behind his eyes. He didn't say anything out loud, but his lips silently formed the word daddy in this tiny whisper that only I could hear, and I nodded once so slightly that nobody else in the entire world could have noticed it. His eyes filled up with tears, and he threw his little arms around my neck and squeezed me so tight that I thought my heart would actually explode, and I hugged him back with everything I had, while Julie laughed from the sidelines and said, "Oh my gosh, Kevin, look how much he loves Santa. This is so precious." She pulled out her phone and started taking pictures of my son hugging me like it was just an adorable holiday moment and not the first time I had touched my child in 11 months. And Kevin stood there grinning like an idiot, completely unaware of what was actually happening 3 feet in front of his stupid face. Then Julie walked over and peeled Caleb off my lap, saying, "Okay, buddy, say bye to Santa. We need to go meet Grandma for dinner." And Caleb looked back at me one last time with tears streaming down his cheeks. Julie didn't even notice his tears as she pulled him off my lap, and I just sat there in that ridiculous velvet suit watching them walk away while my son kept looking back at me until they turned the corner and disappeared into the crowd.